What is up, guys? We're back for another video, and this week I've been spending time with the updated VW Polo Vivo GT. So this is of course at the top of the Vivo lineup, and I'm going to be telling you guys everything that you need to know about this car and what it's been like to live with. So keep it locked. So starting up front, we've got obviously a GT badging here just in case you forget what car you're driving, and we've also got these headlights which are now LEDs as standard. They've got daytime running lights as well as fog lamps lower down. We've also got these really cool Marabao alloy wheels which look extremely sporty, and I'm a big fan of them. Moving over to the side, we've got these gray mirror caps, and we've also got this decals on the side there with a GT badge. Also cool touch is this little side skirt lower down as well. Moving over to the back, we've got a black boot spoiler over there, as well as a chrome exhaust tip, which also add on to the sporty nature of this car. And of course, we've got some more GT badging over there. Opening up the boot, we've got quite a generously sized boot considering the size of this car. So as you can see, I've been able to fit a number of things in here, and there's still quite a bit of boot space as well. So we've jumped into the back seat of the Vivo GT, and as you can see, I've actually got quite a decent amount of room back here. So foot room is quite decent, knee room is also quite decent, and headroom is really quite commendable too. Overall space here really does feel quite roomy considering how small this car is. Of course, there are grabs, and the biggest one is the fact that I'm having to roll down my windows in a new car in 2024, which, if you ask me, is just not acceptable. On top of that, as well, there are no air control vents here, so it's getting hot on a hot summer day like this. Come on, VW, step it up. So we're now at the front, and things are a bit more interesting up front here. So of course, we've got the steering wheel, which is reminiscent of the previous generation Polo, but it's now here in this Polo Vivo GT. We've got a somewhat decent infotainment touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is, however, getting long in the tooth. As you can see, this is quite a number of years old. However, it still has most of the functionality that you'll need from it, like smartphone mirroring. We've also got some cup holders over here, which offer some decent storage, as well as some more storage behind those. And we've got an armrest here with some storage as well. The door pins, funny enough, are spacious, but they are quite shallow. So a lot of large items like cool drink bottles are like always flying around because it's not really deep. However, they are decent enough, so no complaints on that front. Something that I do need to commend VW on in this Vivo GT is the use of the materials in the cabin. I mean, if you feel here, it's like this nice soft squidgy material. It's not like a hard plastic, and the plastics used here are actually decent enough. So I'm actually not too mad about that. However, what I am really mad about are these. Like, what are these? Guys, this car is frustrating me, but I actually still love it so much. But I mean, some of these things, guys, really, in a car of this nature, we really should have electric side mirrors. And lastly, new to the Vivo GT are, of course, these lovely seats with these red accents, as well as the GT badging on the floor mats. So we're now going for a drive in this sporty Vivo GT. So what makes it so sporty? Well, of course, the engine. And it uses a 1-liter TSI engine, turbocharged of course, and it produces 100, 100. So it uses 81 kilowatts, or it produces rather 81 kilowatts and 200 newton meters of torque, which in a nice small compact car like this, it makes all the difference. I mean, this car is extremely powerful, and it's so easy to have fun with it in normal, everyday, day-to-day urban settings. So this car, that's what really makes it quite sporty. And I mean, of course, we've got the sporty aesthetic, the sporty look. So it's got obviously the slightly large-ish alloy wheels, and it's got the body kit, which obviously makes it look really good too, which is synonymous with the GT brand. So essentially, think of this as a really affordable solution to a GTI, if I may put it that way. It's a really affordable way of having something quite sporty without really hurting the pocket. So, of course, as I mentioned, this car is really powerful for what it is, and that does translate to the everyday driving experience. As mentioned, you can have loads of fun without actually getting yourself into trouble. So, that's a really nice thing about the Polo Vivo GT. So, of course, aiding all of that fun is, of course, a good old manual, a 6-speed manual, which is sublime, guys. I mean, I always say that there are two manufacturers who make some of the best manuals, and VW is one of them. So I'm really happy about that. This manual and the clutch, everything just feels so nice. I just feel like doing this all day long because the action is just so smooth, it's just so refined, it's really effortless. It makes driving this car such a breeze. One gripe that I do have, unfortunately, about this engine is the fact that because it is turbocharged, you don't really get all of the power low down in the rev range. So the turbos do need to take some time to spool up for a bit. But once they do get going, then you just get this surge of power, which just feels so amazing. So one thing to note is that lower down when you're pulling away, you do can tend to get just a bit of a you need power, but you just don't have it. But as I said, once the turbos do spool up and you do sort of get higher in the rev range, then you do get all of that power, and then you're just gone. And this car, this is so crazy to sort of grasp, but this car is not just fun to drive and, very sporty and all of that. It's actually quite economical too. And I mean, I thought for a couple of days that the petrol gauge doesn't work because, I mean, I kept driving and driving and driving and driving, and it just wasn't moving. I think I must have driven well over 300 kilometers before I lost half of a bar, which is quite ridiculous. I mean, I've currently done 600 kilometers on half a tank, which is quite unbelievable. And mind you, I haven't even been trying to be driving fuel efficiently. I mean, I've been, yeah. So that is really quite remarkable to know that this little 1 liter turbocharged engine is as efficient as it is. I mean, I've seen some people online getting something like over 900 kilometers on a full tank of fuel in this car, which is quite remarkable. So, big thumbs up to VW. So, I really enjoyed driving this car. It's a really nice and sporty car. It feels really great to drive, and it really looks the part too. But the asking price of just over 340,000 Rand just seems a bit too steep for my liking, especially considering things like you're missing electric side mirrors and electric windows at the rear as well. And for that, I'm just not sure that it's entirely worth the asking price. Very tricky. I mean, if I were to look into VW's own stable, you could get, or one could get, the Polo, probably a life model for similar kind of money. And that is a slightly bigger car. It is much newer than this Polo Vivo here. So, yeah, a lot of people then should be asking themselves, do they need this 81 kilowatts and 200 newton meters of torque, or would you be good enough with the 70 kilowatts that you get from the 1 liter engine in the Polo Life, for example? So if you guys are willing to look past some of those gripes that I mentioned about this Vivo GT, then this could definitely be the one for you. However, if not, then I'd highly recommend the Polo Life which could be of better value to most people at least. I'm keen to know though, which one of the two would you guys pick? Would you go for the Polo Life or would you go for this Vivo GT? Let me know down in the comments. But that's it from me, from this video. It's been a really, really great time. I've really enjoyed my time with this car. However, as always, all good things come to an end. And as the saying goes, into ngapeli iyashokla. But that's it from me, guys. I will, of course, catch you guys on the next one. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, see you guys soon. Cheers.